Hi, my name is Takuzo Kanre. I'm a former A-level student and I graduated high school with straight A stars, and I'm here to help you do the same, or if not, just to make A-level maths a little less challenging for you. So today we'll be looking at quadratic inequalities, and we'll be focusing on the syllabus point that says we should learn how to solve quadratic inequalities in one unknown. So to be able to solve a quadratic inequality, first you have to be able to solve a quadratic equation. You start by finding the roots of the quadratic equation, and you do that by solving the quadratic. Once you have the roots of the quadratic, you can determine the required region by sketching a diagram, and we will learn how to do that with some examples. So we have four possible scenarios for quadratic inequalities. Let's look at the first scenario. When the coefficient of x squared is positive and we are looking for the less than region. So your quadratic is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is less than 0. So in this case we'll use the example x squared minus 6x plus 8 is less than 0. If you solve the quadratic, you get the roots x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 4. Once you do that, sketch a diagram of the quadratic. That's the graph of x squared minus 6x plus 8. Then label the roots. This root is 2 and this root is 4. And since we want the region that's less than 0, we're looking for the region where the curve of the quadratic is below the x-axis. So that's this region here. This is the region that we want. So that means our solution will be x is between 2 and 4. And that's shown here. Now let's move on to the second possible scenario. When the coefficient of x squared is positive and we're looking for the greater than region. So your quadratic will look like this. And let's use this example again. If you solve the quadratic, the roots you get are x is 2 and x is 4. Again, sketch your quadratic and label the roots. That's 2 and 4. This time we want the region where the quadratic curve is above the x-axis. So you can tell that it starts being above the x-axis from this point onwards, going that way. And then on the right hand side it starts from 4 and it continues going up and is above the x-axis. So it means we have two regions. So we start with this region where it's x is less than 2 and x is greater than 4. And that's shown here. Now let's look at the third possible scenario. That's when the coefficient of x squared is negative and we're looking for the greater than region. So your quadratic will look like this, and again we'll use this example. Our roots are x is 2 and x is 4. If we sketch our quadratic, notice how this time the parabola is upside down since the coefficient of x squared is negative. Now label your roots, that's 2 and 4, and we're looking for the greater than the 0 region. So that means we want the region where the curve is above the x-axis. So that's this part that we want. That's the region from 2 to 4. X is between 2 and 4, as shown here. Now let's move on to the fourth possible scenario. When the coefficient of x squared is negative and we're looking for the less than region. So it will look like this. Again, you will solve your quadratic and get the two roots. That's x equals 2 and x is equal to 4. And sketch the quadratic curve. And again, it's a negative function, so your parabola is upside down. Label your roots. And now we want the region where the curve is below the x-axis. So we have two regions. That's x is less than 2 and x is greater than 4. That will be your solution. as highlighted here. Okay, so just to sum up this whole video, we have 4 possible cases for solving quadratic inequalities, but in reality the third and fourth cases can be converted into the first and second cases respectively by multiplying the whole quadratic inequality by -1. So that's it for the video. If you want access to this PDF, I've left a link down below in the description. And if you want to access more of my resources, you can click the link below to my website. Thank you for watching.